Hi, I'm Brad Summer, the facility manager here at the Bunge Morristown Crush Refining Plant. Behind me you see a facility that processes approximately 200 semi-loads of soybeans each and every day. The 100 or so employees create finished products that are shipped locally and around the world. We're glad you're here. We hope that you find this time with us educational and enjoyable. So again, welcome to Bunge. What you see in front of me is a representation of the process that goes on behind me at the plant itself. We start with the soybean that's grown locally in the Midwest. We crack the bean and flake the bean. Flaking is basically done between two rolling pins on a larger scale. Those beans then have the oil removed from them, and which goes to our refinery. At the refinery, we further process the oil into the cooking oil that you will see on your grocer's shelf. The middle processes yield both soy hulls and soybean meal. These are primarily used in animal feed applications.
Welcome to Bunge here in Morristown, Indiana. My name is Laura Bolte. I am the merchandising manager here at the plant. I'm in charge of sourcing the raw material, which is soybeans, from farmers in the area from Indiana, Ohio, and Illinois, as well as managing logistics of the products we make. Here we do soybean meal, soy hull pellets, and soy oil. Our meal goes into animal feed across the eastern U.S. and southeast, as well as our oil gets further refined and we ship into biodiesel market as well as some other human consumption. We are a part of Bunge Limited, which is a global agribusiness. We operate in not just soy crushing, but exports to other countries, as well as corn milling and other joint ventures across the U.S. and the world. Here is our footprint in North America. So we operate crush facilities, corn milling facilities, as well as grain elevators along the Mississippi River and several locations in Indiana that load rail. Here in Indiana, we have, here is our Morristown facility that we're at right now. We also operate another crush facility in Indiana in Decatur, as well as in the Ohio, in our eastern region, has Delphus, Ohio and Bellevue, Ohio. That is part of our current region that we're in right now. The green locations are our current grain assets, and anything purple is our crush and refining, as well as our export facilities are here in New Orleans, as well as we export out of the Pacific Northwest. So here the soybeans that we buy come mostly from Indiana, Ohio, and Illinois. Most of the beans we buy come by truck, which is going to be local farms. We also can source in beans via rail. Here we're located on the CSX rail line, one of the major rail lines in the U.S. To run the plant, here we buy 1.8 million metric tons of beans a year. To crush that, we end up producing 1.4 million metric tons a year of meal. Most of that is shipped out by rail car, but we also do ship by truck to local farms, mostly going into poultry and hog production in the U.S., as well as exporting some of our meal to other countries as well. Most of the meal that we export goes from rail to barge in the St. Louis market and then ships down to the Gulf. The soy hull pellets are all a local market. We ship that almost exclusively by truck and goes a lot into dairy production in our area. And for the oil, the plant here sends all of its oil to the refinery where it is degummed and further refined to go into markets like biodiesel as well as food consumption, so frying fats, soy lecithin, and other cooking products. In order to supply the plant each day, it takes the volume of 215 semi-trucks to come in every day. That makes our annual capacity is about 1.8 million metric tons a year of soybeans that have to come through the facility. We have the ability here to store 108 metric tons of soybeans, but with the harvest coming through and the production that we make each day, we're constantly in the market trying to source beans, not just from local farms, but from other grain elevators through our rail facilities in the company. It's a constant demand flow that we have to bring in soybeans to keep our production up, to be able to ship the products that we make. The meal and soy hull pellet products that we make go into animal feed, so we are shipping it to hog producers, to poultry, not just for meat, but for eggs and turkeys and other poultry products that get raised in the U.S. and processed and consumed in the U.S. So here in Morristown, we're on the CSX rail line. It's our main access to hit distant markets as well as the export market. We take in rail cars and load those with soybean meal and soy hull pellets, as well as receiving bean trains. Here we have the ability to receive and ship 90 cars at a time. For soybeans, that's 330,000 bushels, so more than a day's production we could receive on one train. We also ship trains of meal and ship 90 car units of meal.
Broke ground on the crush plant in 1995 and began operation a year later. We added the refinery to the facility in 2002, and we expanded the crush plant in 2004. The plant sits on 110 acres, and we have approximately 95 employees here at this facility. At the crush plant, we process approximately 65 million bushel of beans a year, which is about 60,000 semis that come through the facility during the year. Our storage capacity is only 4 million bushel, so we rely heavily on inbound trucks and railroads supplying the facility on a daily basis. At the facility, we produce soy oil, but we also have the capability to combine it and blend it with palm oil for various types of cooking and food applications. One of the unique features at this facility is we utilize enzymatic degumming in our refinery, one of the few facilities in the States with that capability. We further bleach and deodorize the oil and send it to local customers for food, industry, and animal applications.
Thank you so much for taking the time to visit us today. We appreciate you learning a bit more about Bunge and what we do here in Morristown.
At Bunge Morristown, we connect agriculture to global markets, and we're excited to be a part of that supply chain. Thank you for visiting, and at Bunge, safety is extremely important, so you be safe as well. Thank you for coming.